Battlefield 2042 sure left a bad taste in our mouth. About as good as a shot of sewer water. In fact, if someone aimed a gun at my head and I had to pick between the two, I would pick the sewer water. Hell, with Battlefield 2042 I would even suck cock, which left a huge doo-doo butter stain for DICE to clean up. How do you fail at making a run and gun shooter that was already affirmed in a award-winning game franchise known to many, that beat Call of Duty's ass multiple years? All you had to do is make sure the character doesn't shoot itself on the fucking face when they walk, and you got yourself a game. But DICE said, no, we don't do that here. We'll take the bullets away instead.
I'm sorry, I don't play video games that lie to me, you know?
Let's make unplayable maps, broken characters.
What the fuck is that?
Design textures like it's 1998.
Why did they design the rats so terribly, man? Is this a 1990s game or some shit like that? Like, what the fuck?
It was such a mess that their plan B was essentially repackaging all the older games into this new one and call it a feature. That's innovation for you. But recently it seems that the game has been revived apparently, with the game finally reaching their peak player count after 2 whole years, reaching more than 100,000 players on Steam Analytics alone, which would be fine and normal for most games if they actually had a fine and normal evolution. Which wasn't. Players dropped this game like Adidas dropped Kanye, even though it should have been the hottest release of the year. Hell, they even got me fooled. I mean, pre-orders. Not even once now. And since Xbox Game Pass offered me a way to play EA games without selling my soul to the fucking devil, I decided to check out exactly what was happening for players to finally return to the game after 2 years, and give it a chance. The revival of Battlefield 2042 seems to be due to the release of the new season. Now, as someone who cares very little about this new format of battle seasons, I could give a rat's ass about the new season and what kind of new operator they have. This motherfucker could shoot rainbows out of his ass and I wouldn't care. But see, the true reason for this revival seems to be much more of a logical reason. The game is cheaper than a corner hooker, basically. The game is being sold at around $10 globally, but it was actually free to play from October 12th to the 16th. But is there really a reason to come back? My return experience started off amazingly by seeing that the game developers actually put in a lot of time to actually improve the texture.
Okay, nice textures. What are these fucking graphics? Yo. We really went backwards on the graphics, dude. I remember playing this for the first time, but I thought there would be some sort of upgrade on this. The sound looks like, you know, that paper mache kind of shit.
Oh, nope, never mind. I saw that at the very least they fixed the gunplay.
He's just shooting without a fucking gun, dude.
What? That was not fixed either? Oh. In fact, this game had difficulty loading goddamn icons.
Dude, it takes time to load an icon. That's how bad this game is. The icon takes time to load.
Your friend's shitty website that he developed on Wix can load icons faster than this. But I was ready for my first online experience, okay? The game puts you through an AI kind of level, like a single player for you to try the guns and whatnot. It's like an introduction. So maybe they just ignored that part for the updates and revamps. They focus on the online component, which is what people really want to play. So I loaded in and my soldier was ready to fight. Satan's demons, I suppose, because I was spawned in the underworld.
Literally the first steps I take in the game, dude, it's already broke.
I hadn't even spent half an hour into this game and I was already pissed. But I have to say I like the fact that this game incorporated, at the very least, some teamwork mechanics better than previous Battlefields, like getting bonuses for using smokes properly, which would have been great if my teammates could spare a brain cell or two.
What the fuck is this guy? Is this guy dumb? What the
And I can't lie, I was having some decent fun for the first few minutes. Obviously due to my amazing gamer skills.
Oh, that was so... first time playing this game.
But this game still suffered the inherent issues they brought up with this new concept for this new battlefield, right? Which is essentially, you know, classes exist, but they kinda don't. They didn't seem to go back on that. And essentially, now classes still do not matter. They can go as far to change scopes mid-fight, which deletes any kind of weakness that your character could have, and that it would be quite essential to add some difficulty to the game. Because no matter how brain dead you want your shooter to be, you still need some sort of challenge, which unfortunately for me is not obtainable when I can excel at every distance against every enemy. I felt like I was playing against AI. Which actually wouldn't be wrong. But the game still pretty much feels like a Rainbow Six Siege ripoff. It didn't feel nice seeing, you know, flying squirrels and man-sized drones flying all over the place.
What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck is that?
The way I would describe Battlefield 2042 would be like a teenager with identity crisis. This game doesn't know exactly what it wants to be. So in that regard, my opinion and feeling didn't really change ever since the first beta they released. I mean, the things that I missed the most about other Battlefields was, well, Battlefield moments. And in my minute seconds of joy that I had, were immediately destroyed by the game deleting resources left and right, almost instantly.
Oh no, was he... Oh my god, he annihilated, I guess? I don't see a carcass. Man, this game is terrible with the fucking resources.
As if the server was running on a potato. And the simple fact that they couldn't keep destroyed vehicles loaded into the game just ruined any small bit of enjoyment I could have gotten from these moments. Which seems to be a bug they could have fixed by now, let's be honest. At least the story still seems to make sense. To DICE, that is, because players are not really buying that shit. I like how this destroyed, apocalyptic world can still have nations like the Americans and Russians fighting against each other, but somehow the American military is completely comfortable with recruiting people that were part of Russia before, and vice versa. As if there was no way in hell these soldiers could have still pledged some sort of allegiance to the nation they once belonged to. Just because they're expats now, I mean, I know they tried to make it so that the operators could be universal, so you wouldn't really find it weird that you have Boris in the American army, but the story just doesn't make any kind of sense. And I can't tell you how infuriating it was to still have AIs filling up the lobby, even after being at apparently peak Battlefield player count. There's indie games out there that are able to maintain a full 100 player lobby, and DICE is out here using ChatGPT's dumber cousins to create some sort of artificial fun.
Oh my god, dude. I'm not even... okay, it's AI. Oh, this game still is AI bots, man. Come on.
My impression after a few maps wasn't great. The game still to this day has nothing to make it stand over other Battlefields, you know?
I mean, that's somewhat fun, but I mean, it's one of those things that it's not specific to this new Battlefield. We have these moments of, like, people rushing in since Battlefield 3, and it was way more fun in Battlefield 3. I'm not convinced. I mean, it's mid, what the kids like to call mid, right?
Battlefield 5 was what it was. People didn't exactly fall in love with it, but I can guarantee you I have 10 times more fun playing Battlefield 5 than this, because it doesn't even look prettier than Battlefield 5. Not to mention the game still had an overwhelming amount of bugs.
Jesus. And now my ability to sprint is fucked. And I'm pretty sure this is a bug.
That should have been solved in a 2-year span. I mean, maybe after release it would be fine, but this has been 2 years at the very least. The streaming issue seems to be the biggest issue.
At this point, I'm not even shocked, man.
It is completely unable to render the most basic resources in time, which makes it very frustrating since now we have GPUs of the size of a fucking forearm that cost us a kidney for essentially less performance. Makes me feel like we're going backwards on this. They seem to have fixed at the very least a hit registration, which made the game at least playable. Obviously, otherwise they would have no game whatsoever. And even though it's still not the best,
No, the fucking... I need a whole mag for one person, man.
At least you're not playing with Nerf darts, okay? The bullets actually cause some damage. And the map count is still embarrassingly low. Which would have been fine if the maps were huge, but they have felt bigger before, you know, in other titles.
What do you mean by that?
But the question in the end, the one that truly matters is, did I have fun? I would be lying if I said no. Battlefield 2042 sure perfected some things, you know, like the visual and audio cues you get when you get a kill. They can be quite addictive.
Objective set. Hold this sector as long as you can. Tango down!
That was so beautiful.
You know, the little skull popping up and that little ding sound. It just makes you want to go on a chain. So the feeling, I guess, of shooting and actually killing your enemies seems quite fun. Shooting tanks doesn't feel like rocket science anymore. The drop rate is considerably casual, but we don't want a milsim with Battlefield, so it's fine. And with this new map, they were able to retain some of that Operation Metro energy that people loved so much ever since Battlefield 3. But in the end, I had fun because I created it. Because you gave me a gun and some enemies to shoot at, and that's that. When compared to previous titles like Battlefield 3, I suppose, it feels like you have less liberty to actually pull off something actually amazing. Everything has been watered down. I mean, achieving higher places, you know, it's made way too easy with grappling hooks and wingsuits and shit. The lack of identity in this game, you can really feel it, you know. I guess if you can catch this game at $10. When you look at that price tag, I guess it could be a good purchase. But you know it's bad when there's indie games out there that cost nearly $40. And they are still a better recommendation than this AAA game that has been for decades. One of the best shooters, and now it's just sad that $10 is up for discussion. It almost makes me forget that this is an actual Battlefield. How sad is that?